Hello, my little readers. Welcome to Ruthy's Reading Room. I'm Ruthy, and this is my buddy John. We're going to share a story with you today, and it's a special one. Now, if you already have your stuffy and blankie, you're ready to go. If not, I'm going to give you a moment to go around and get your stuffy or blankie, or maybe a reading buddy, and come on back. We'll be right here waiting. All right, my readers are coming back. Some of you, I see you have a book. Could it be this one? Maybe you're going to follow along with me. That would be amazing. All right, let's ask the question. Which book is coming off the shelf next? Do you know, Jar? All right, let's get it. Grandma's Hands. This book was written by Rolanda T. Pyle and illustrated by Naila Khatri. Let's get ready to read our book. Let's put our listening ears on, put our hands in our lap, and sit very quietly as I check up on you. There we go. The magnifying glass turtle can see all of you. Beautiful faces, handsome, very good. Hi, thumbs up. I love it. We are ready to go. Lovely. Grandma's Hands. Who has a nanny that they love to pieces? Is she the one who spoils you? Gives you every little treat that you want and then sends you home? Grandma's Hands. This sounds like it's going to be a good one. Let's dive in. Shonda is heartbroken. She just lost her mother and now has to move away to live with her grandmother, which means she will miss her friends and her favorite teacher. But her teacher shares something with her that helps Shonda. Today, millions of children are living with millions of grandparents and other relatives without their parents. You may know one of these children or the relative caring for them. They are not alone. We support the children and we applaud these caregivers, not only on Grandparents' Day, which is the first Sunday after Labor Day in September, but every day. Grandma's Hands. Today is Shonda's last day at school. She feels sad and scared. She will miss all her friends and her teacher. Shonda is afraid because she is moving and going to a new 4th grade class. She does not know her new teacher and will miss her class. Shonda wipes the tears from her eyes. Oh, can you see that? I know. You always feel bad for the little ones who are sad, don't you, Jaw? Shonda's class gave her a going away party. Everyone said goodbye and brought her gifts. She would miss everyone, especially her best friend Denise. They had been in the same class since the 1st grade. Miss Harris, her teacher, came to her desk and whispered in her ear, "Don't worry, Shonda. It will all work out. I will talk to you when the class goes to recess." It's a good teacher. Shonda tried to smile and blurted out an okay. Shonda loved Miss Pearline Harris. She was the best teacher in the world. Shonda had told her mother that she wanted to teach 3rd grade just like Miss Harris, her mother. Shonda sighed as she thought of her mother. Her mother had died, and that is why Shonda was so sad. Her mother had been sick for a while. She was in and out of hospitals for about a year. Shonda remembered feeling all alone on the day she heard the news, even though she had her brother and sister. Now she would have to take care of them because she was the oldest. She promised her mother she would look out for them. It was very hard for Shonda because her father died 2 years ago. Oh, that's heartbreaking, isn't it? Losing both parents? Shonda, her brother and sister were going to live with their grandmother, Big Mama. She loved Big Mama, a plump, jolly woman with big hands who hugged and hugged her grandchildren as often as she could. Shonda remembered going to see Big Mama on summer vacations and going to church with her. Big Mama sang in the choir and was on the usher board. She would wear white on the Sundays she ushered, and Shonda thought she looked so pretty in white. She would wear white gloves and lead people to their seats with her hand out. Big Mama lived in Mississippi, where it was hot and people talked real slow. Her mother said people did everything slow in the South. It was very quiet and everyone was so friendly there. Shonda loved to visit, but she had never thought about living there. That is very different, right? Her class went out to recess. Shonda sighed as she glanced across the classroom. It was a pretty interesting place. Miss Harris had pictures, their paintings, and essays hung on the walls around the classroom. Miss Harris motioned for Shonda to come up front by her desk so they could talk. Shonda told Miss Harris how much she was going to miss her. Miss Harris replied, "I will miss you too. You are a special young lady." Shonda told her she would miss a class, especially her friends Denise and Laverne. "Did you tell them?" asked Miss Harris. "Yes," Shonda replied, "and we're going to keep in touch and become pen pals." "That's great," said Miss Harris. "As a matter of fact, I'm going to have the whole class write you." "Thank you, Miss Harris," said Shonda. "That should keep me busy, reading and answering all those letters. Maybe I won't miss them that much then." Miss Harris held Shonda's hand and asked her, "Shonda, how are you doing?" "Oh, I don't know. I don't want to leave here. I love Big Mama and I like her house. It is warm and she always has lots of food, but I love it here," Shonda replied. "Oh, once you get there and enjoy yourself, you'll forget all about us here," Miss Harris said. "No, I won't, Miss Harris. I will never forget my class or you." "Miss Harris, can I tell you a secret?" asked Shonda. "Sure," replied Miss Harris. "You can tell me anything." "Well, I'm kind of mad at my mother for leaving us. I know it was not her fault, but I still feel mad that I have to go and live with my grandmother," Shonda said. "You know something, Shonda? I know exactly how you feel," Miss Harris said. "You do?" Shonda asked in surprise. "Yes," Miss Harris replied. "I want to tell you a story about someone I know." "Okay," Shonda said, and she waited for Miss Harris to share the story. Miss Harris began her story. "I know of a little girl whose parents died in a car accident. This little girl was 5 years old at the time. She had a 3-year-old brother. When her parents died, she was scared and she had to leave the South to go and live with her grandparents up north. Her grandparents were good to her. They were sad because their daughter and son-in-law had died. They were scared because they were older, retired, and not in the best of health. Now they had to raise 2 grandchildren." Miss Harris laughed and her eyes twinkled as she said, "I'm sure that is not what anyone looks forward to during their retirement." Shonda laughed too. It felt good to laugh. She would really miss Miss Harris. Miss Harris continued, "But they did a great job. That little girl missed her mom and dad terribly. She never forgot her parents, but she was grateful to her grandparents. As she got older, she realized her grandparents didn't have to take her and her brother in and care for them. Who knows what would have happened to them? It wasn't easy for her without her mom and dad, but it wasn't easy for her grandparents either, losing their only daughter." That's true. You have to think about the other person's experience. Shonda sighed as she thought about Miss Harris's words. She had never even thought about what would happen if her grandmother didn't send for them. She had not thought about how her grandmother must feel. Mother's death must be hard on grandmother also. She smiled as she thought of her grandmother and was glad Big Mama wanted them to come live with her. Shonda imagined Big Mama in her kitchen, singing all day as she cooked. She thought of her grandmother's hands baking and cooking. Shonda had always enjoyed visiting her grandmother, and yes, she would probably like living there as well. Shonda focused again on Miss Harris and asked her, "What happened to the little girl?" "Well," Miss Harris answered with that little twinkle in her eye, "I thought you would never ask. That little girl grew up and her grandparents eventually died, but not before they saw her go off to college. She graduated and now she is a teacher. Just what her grandmother wanted. She teaches the best 3rd-grade class in the world." Shonda's eyes grew wide as she realized what Miss Harris was saying. What is Miss Harris saying? Yep. Miss Harris hugged Shonda and said, "That's right. That little girl was me." Shonda laughed and thought, no wonder I like Miss Harris so much. As she hugged Miss Harris, she knew that everything was going to be all right. The end. Isn't that lovely? What a great teacher Miss Harris is. That she would make sure that Shonda was okay, that she would share her own story of being raised by grandparents and let her know that that was okay too. And I think Shonda was feeling so much better after that chat with Miss Harris. Do any of you have a teacher like that? Someone that you can talk to and confide in? It's always good to have someone to talk to. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your dad, maybe it's your granny or your poppy, or maybe it's a special teacher. Well, I'm glad Shonda had Miss Harris because I think she made things a lot better for her. Thank you for joining me in Ruthy's Reading Room. Check in the description below and you'll be able to click the link so you can buy your own copy of this book. And remember, the best place to read is wherever you are with a book. Why not make it this one? And if you enjoyed reading with us today, you can subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell so we can read together next time. See you next time. Happy reading, little readers. Bye.
Ruthy's read it.